Hey, I'm coming to San Antonio, man. Will you give me 5 minutes? This is before anybody knew who I was, right? No books, no kind of
Right.
notoriety. So they're like, no, don't come by. But see, that was interest. To me, that's interest. No, I'm not interested. Not interested
So not
is,
interested to use interest.
well, it is. It says not interested. Not is an adjective to describe interest,
Okay.
right? So it's a level of interest.
So if someone says they're not
I have,
interested,
on a
then
scale from 0 to 10, what interest level do you have? None. That is a level.
right.
Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You with me? A few minutes ago, he didn't know he didn't know he had no interest. At least I'm on. You see what I'm saying? You get it?
Well, I wouldn't do that. I disagree with that. But I'm not saying that. Reasonable minds could differ. I would.
Yeah.
I'm more about hitting massive numbers.
If you're a big Grant Cardone fan, you've probably seen this video and you've been confused on why he would say this. But what if I told you what Grant Cardone said wasn't actually stupid, but a genius trait he actually has? My name is Sam from New Marketing U, and this is The Genius Of, a series in which I discuss some of the best names in an industry, break down their genius approach, mental models, and success. Grant Cardone is the cutout of the modern successful American entrepreneur. He's unpolished in how he speaks. He's hardworking, he's smart, motivational, and owns all the toys that comes with being the boss. Born in Lake Charles, Louisiana in 1958, Grant grew up in a middle-class family, so his story is not one of rags to riches. He never completely starved or lived on the streets, and arguably lived the life quite a lot of people would be happy with. As he grew older though, he became addicted to drugs. His family abandoned him as this habit would control his life every single day from his teens until he was 25. He checked into rehab after a life-changing conversation in which his therapist told him he should stop all thoughts of him living his dream of being incredibly rich, focus on a normal life, and told Grant that he would be back in the treatment center again. Grant then vowed to change his life around and shifted all of his obsessions into sales. See, I've followed Grant Cardone for years, and I've seen a few things that stand out about him, and that's his peculiar way of thinking that I believe has contributed massively to his success. This is a genius, off-the-wall way of thinking that isn't seen much, and I'll explain the first example with the popular Jordan Belfort interview. In the interview, Grant states, "No interest is a level of interest." To the simple-minded and face value sort of people, this sounds like nonsense, but it's almost philosophical and ambiguous. See, if you have no interest, you have a level of interest, and that is not interested. Grant sees this view and a lot of his views as a scale and not a separate idea or entity. This way of thinking is usually shared by the most genius minds as it helps discover new ideas. Now, you're probably thinking that I'm paying too much attention to this, that it was probably a fluke case under pressure, but yet again, you'll see this happen on this Rob Moore interview.
All haters. First of all, we should not admire haters the way we do. We even call them haters. They're not haters. They're quitters. They're quitters. All haters are quitters. Like this should be the title of your thing.
All haters are quitters. Yeah.
All haters. Yeah. All haters.
Yeah.
Including me. Anytime I hate on something, okay,
Yeah.
I quit on that thing. Like I hate drugs. I quit drugs. I hate drugs. I hate people that use drugs. I don't trust people that use drugs. Like no drug is safe for me. And I believe that no drug is safe for other people. Now, some people are gonna be like, no, I'm using cannabis recreational, it's cool, man, and I use psychedelics and I do this. Good, dude, I hate drugs. I wanna make it clear, I fucking hate drugs. And I hate drugs for you, and I hate drugs for him, I hate drugs for everybody. So I could be wrong, but right now, I'm gonna hate drugs. Why? Because I quit drugs. Now, if you're hating on Grant Cardone, and I hadn't done anything to you, I'm over here minding my own business, or building my own business, micromanaging my own business so it grows. So if I'm doing that, okay, and you're hating on me, why are you hating on me? He uses social media too much. These are every example I go over. It's because you don't use it enough. He works too much. It's because you don't work enough. He doesn't spend enough time with his kids. You don't even have kids. Like I got people hating on me because I got my kids on my plane. Oh, you're going to ruin your kids. if I'm gonna ruin my kids, I'm gonna ruin them private. You know. So what are you quitting on? Like, so it's very, very important for me. Like when I hate on somebody, I need to understand: did I quit on something, or am I legitimately hating on this person for a reason? Because I'm trying to make a statement publicly.
It also happens here.
Because basically there's 4 levels of action that every human being takes. Everybody in this room every day goes through these 4 choices. No action, you probably have this as a question later, but it's part of this procrastination thing. Procrastination is an action, believe it or not. First, there's no action. Number 2, there is a retreat of activity. I'm actually retreating from activity. The 3rd level is normal levels of activity. It's what most people operate on, the average. They actually compare themselves to other people. That's how you have an 8-hour day. An 8-hour day is built on action number 3, normal levels of activity. It's normal. It's socially acceptable. Because everybody, hey man, it's normal, this is what we do, let's close the place up. We did our 8 hours. You know, it's Wednesday, hump day. Thank God it's Friday. All that is a bunch of freaking communism that is basically infiltrating our culture. The 4th level is massive. It's this, 10x. You think you needed to make 20 phone calls? Multiply times 10. That's probably closer to the truth. 4 levels of action, okay? Which one of those 4 is the most dangerous? Huh? No action, retreat, backing up, average, or massive. The average is the most dangerous of all 4. The reason average is the most dangerous is because it's approved. It's approved of. People approve of average. Okay, if you don't do anything, if you stay at home, if I roll up on that couch in a fetal position all day, sooner or later, I mean, even the drug dealer's gonna tell you, bro, you gotta get off the couch, okay? The only one there is to be is number 4. Monster levels of activity until the point to where people are actually labeling you. They should be labeling you. Your customers should be complaining about my follow-up. Hey, they should be calling the executives. Tell that guy to quit visiting me at 12:30 at night. This guy's a maniac. Keep him away from my kids.
So Grant's way of thinking isn't exactly new to those who have followed Grant quite closely for years, and it's helped me out quite a lot in my life with his 10x rule. The 10x phrase has become synonymous with Grant Cardone. The concept of the 10x rule is to imagine your goal, if that's making 500k by the end of the year, or a business idea that will go from idea to execution in 5 months. You have to multiply your goal and effort by 10. And that will get you to your goal. If you want to make 500k by the end of the year, aim for 5 million, and you're more likely to reach your 500k goal because life is not simple and straightforward, and you will almost always miss your first initial goal. Now, the funny thing that I found about this Jordan Belfort and Grant Cardone interview is the people watching it. I've always found it pretty stupid, as both Jordan and Grant have been pretty successful, although they're both not squeaky clean. But thinking that they're incapable of selling is almost laughable and makes me question the success of those who commented. And one person selling slightly better, or in this case different, doesn't really matter at all. In my experience, a number of factors can either slightly improve your selling position or do nothing for it. Grant understands one thing. The way he sees the world is ultimately what matters, and believing that someone has to see life your way is pretty ignorant. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Genius Of. If you'd like to see more videos, like this video and check out all our other videos. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. All the best, Sam.